The GEEK Files, 2026, March 28th, Burnaby. So back to the summerish of 88 Whitehorse Air Maintenance. Stephanie Churchill, more Stephanie stories. There was only one mall in Whitehorse at the time. There was a couple, John and I don't remember his wife's name. He had the Workwear World, and she had a 20-something clubwear store, both of which were going broke. It was the 80s, so they combined the stores into one. It was sort of shaped like a B, where you entered at the bottom of the B. The roundy part of the B was where the 20-something girls women's clubwear was, with all the glass. And then the long part of the B was Workwear World. Since they were, not only were they going broke, I think they had wound up in receivership, and they were getting a divorce. So Stephanie took over as the manager of, I'm not sure if that was legally there or she just took over running it. She needed someone to open the store, someone reliable to open the store on Saturday mornings. So I said, sure, I could use the extra cash. Sort of halfway down the long part, or a third of the way in from the front doors in the shaft of the B, was a raised dais, and that's where the cash till was. So you could stand there and see everything in the store. So there I am, and at that time there was a couple of very exclusive German hunting lodges. It was like $500 or $600 a day, catered strictly to Germans. These two Germans walked in, all dressed out in their plaid and Carhartts, and the one walked up to me and said, "I want the cowboy hat." Sorry, I don't understand. I want the cowboy hat. I really don't, I want the cowboy hat for my cowboy boots. So this German was asking me for a cowboy hat so he could have it with his cowboy boots so he could look the part of a sourdough. No, sir, we don't have it. Another day, a guy walked in, because Whitehorse is on the Alcan, right? So you're going to Alaska. If you're going to drive to Alaska, you got to come through Whitehorse. Guy walked in with a hat that said there are two types of aircrafts, F-15s and targets. So I laughed and started talking to him, and he turned out to be, he worked on the targeting avionics for F-15. So that was, yeah, I think I got his hat from him. I think we traded hats. One morning, this guy walked in Army surplus jacket and an Army surplus boonie hat. And that's not uncommon. There's a lot of ex-military, both Canadian and American, that moved to the Yukon and Alaska after their service for whatever reason. But this guy was wearing the Eagle and Trident of the SEALs, as well as the Bronze Combat Jump Badge. So I made eye contact, and he was walking sort of bow-legged, but very fluid, very quiet. So I made eye contact with him, and he looked back, and I looked at his jewelry. I looked at him, and looked at his jewelry, and looked back at him and said, "Pretty fancy jewelry." He said, "Yep." I said, "Need some pretty good qualifications to wear that." And he said, "Yep." He said, "I leave my silver one at home," which means that he had a silver combat jump badge, which means that he did 20 verified legal jumps behind enemy lines. And because he was a SEAL, he probably had done more than that. So that was really cool. And one morning, just as I was opening the store, and this 30-something couple was standing there, late 20s, early 30s, was standing there waiting to get in. And she needed long johns. I think they were going up north, which was still like cold. And so I said, okay, ladies, long johns are back there. So I started opening up the store, turned on the radio, looked around. I can't see them. Like, I'm on a raised dais. I got full view of the floor. I know that they didn't walk out. And then I hear from the change booths some interesting noises. What are you going to do? So I just turned up the radio until they were done. I guess he was helping her change into her long johns and whatever that entailed. Yeah, working at Work World in Whitehorse in the 80s. Yeah, so make interesting. It's making appropriate life decisions. You don't make any money, but man, do you get good stories.